China just killed the $2 billion Manus deal. It was going to be bought by Meta, and China just shut it down. If you don't know, China, their government can shut down pretty much anything. There've been some sketchy things in the past where some CEOs have just gone missing.
What?
Alibaba, the Alibaba CEO, he went missing for like a while, but they have full control over there. They can shut anything down.
Crazy. It's crazy that if you have any roots to China at all, it doesn't matter where you set up.
Right.
They could be like, nope. Ultimately, people are probably thinking, well, why does China give a shit? Well, obviously China gives a shit because they want that proprietary information, keep that platform, all the IP, they want it for themselves. So if someone's going to buy it, it's either going to be the government. China and the US have always been in this race for, technology and things like that. It's not going to give up a competitive edge. And it's like, oh, Meta wants this, then we want to keep it actually.
Why didn't you tell me this? Their website looks like it's Claude's.
Oh, yeah.
I promise you take a screenshot of like what the front thing says, like literally looks like Claude. Like if I took a screenshot of that, no logo, you'd be like, oh, it's Claude. This is crazy.
There's no original ideas left, let's be honest. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Vector. You know them, the ones with the cute little ghosties in the feed, aka your favorite marketing team's favorite ad targeting tool. See why at vector.co.
We're
here. Welcome back. Episode number 59. Holy shit.
Damn. Almost 60.
Damn.
Wow. All right. Well, we got a good one. Oh yeah. Also, welcome to Notorious B2B. This is the show.
I said it.
All right. We're good. Oh,
yeah. Oh, wow.
Cool,
Tim's
cool.
so out of it today. This is bad. It's going to be bad.
I'm AI maxing, just trying to forget everything.
Overloaded.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, got some urgent all hands here.
Urgent all hands.
Step one, or first one here, is China just killed the $2 billion Manus deal. Manus, the coding platform, it was going to be bought by Meta, and China just shut it down. So much so that everyone was kind of calling it, well, you explained this to me, Manus by Meta. So they were going to acquire them. I think we actually talked about it on Notorious B2B, and China just shut it down. If you don't know, China has, their government can shut down pretty much anything. They have done there've been some sketchy things in the past where some CEOs have just gone missing.
What?
You remember that? What's the big company in China? Alibaba, the Alibaba CEO, he went missing for like a while because I think he said no at some point, or he did something that was like not perfect for the government, but they have full control over there. And so they can shut anything down. The interesting part about this is the Manus, who was started in China, they moved out to Beijing, like their headquarters, and moved their headquarters. So typically ideally that they can do things like this. And in the past, I think that's actually worked for a lot of companies, but because they started in China just said, yeah, no, we're good.
Crazy. It's crazy that if you have any roots to China at all, it doesn't matter where you set up. Right. They could be like, nope. And I mean, ultimately people are probably thinking, well, why does China give a shit? Well, obviously China gives a shit because they want probably that proprietary information, keep that platform, all the IP, they want it for themselves. So if someone's going to buy it, it's either going to be the government, which they don't even have to buy it. They could just order to have it. I don't know what the laws are there. China and the US have always been in this race for, technology and things like that. It's not going to give up a competitive edge. And it's like, oh, Meta wants this, then we want to keep it actually. But it's funny because this week or over the last couple of weeks on Marketing Against the Grain, they did a demo of Manus. And it was one of the things I texted in the group chat. And I was like, I'm going to explore this. I want to just check it out. But now I'm like, well, okay, I don't know what guardrails are going to be put in place if the acquisition doesn't go through. Do I really want to give autonomous agents any access to my stuff? For those that don't know, because I did not know, Manus is basically a competitor of OpenClaw. However, it is for people who are less technical. So you do have agents that run. They can run autonomously. You don't need a separate device. It is just like a cloud interface like anything else. And then it can go and do a lot of these tasks. You can literally just like message it on Telegram, very similar to OpenClaw. And one of the commentaries they gave was, Zuckerberg has this knack for seeing something that people like and copying it and then just doing it for maybe a little bit of a different user base. So OpenClaw is more technical, a little bit harder to set up, easy. You literally can log in, do a free trial, start sending agents off, hook up everything.
Wild.
What?
No, wrong. It's Manus.im, right? Like Manus. Yeah, this is hands-on AI. This is it, right? Yeah. Why didn't you tell me this? Their website looks like it's Claude's.
Oh, yeah.
Their website still says Manus is now part of Meta. It also at the bottom says from Meta and 2026 Meta. Also, it looks, I feel like they vibe coded this because if you click on the Manus is now part of Meta part, it goes to, obviously like a blog post. Those little icons on the right look like the Notion icons.
Yes. Oh my God. I guess right? I didn't go. So when I heard about Manus, every time I listen to Marketing Against Grain, I'm on a walk. So I'm like on mobile. So when I signed in, I just went to the get started and then went on the app side of it. But the actual main website, you're right. It is just like a combo of...
It's Claude plus Notion.
It's Claude plus Notion, the font and everything.
You take out the Manus logo, I promise you take a screenshot of like what the front thing says. Like if you're looking at the website, it says, what can I do for you? It has like the text box. And then it has like the little, like 5 different little things you can do under it. Literally looks like Claude. Like if I took a screenshot of that, no logo, you'd be like, oh, that's Claude. It's Claude. That's literally Claude.
Should we take a screenshot of just this and put it on LinkedIn and just see what people say about it? He's doing it right now.
You got to, right? Like, this is crazy.
There's no original ideas left. Let's be honest.
What do you want me to say? Like, what company is this?
Yeah, just be like, let's play a game. Guess which company this is. Don't cheat and look it up. But if you were to guess based on the branding, what are we looking at?
Don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
I'm posting it now.
Oh my God.
That'll be interesting.
This will be very interesting. What if people all come back and say Manus and then we look like the dum-dums?
I'll quit. I'll just quit LinkedIn. I'll delete my profile.
Stop it.
You'll see why that's funny.
That's a little Easter egg for a story that we will cover later. Moving on. Okay. So number 2 in the urgent all hands here. Slack and Microsoft are kind of going at it. Okay. So Slack files an antitrust lawsuit against Microsoft in London. It's round 2 of the Teams bundling fight. So the TLDR here is now in April, Slack or Salesforce, which by the way, if you have been living under a rock, Slack belongs to Salesforce now, filed an antitrust suit in London's High Court alleging Microsoft tied and bundled Teams with Microsoft 365 to lock out rivals. So it goes back to the whole monopolizing the market. Oh, okay, well, then everybody who uses Microsoft automatically gets Teams. So why would they purchase Slack? And they're talking about it in terms of basically not giving Slack a fair shot, which okay. So in 2020, Slack made an EU complaint, which led to the September 2025 settlement requiring $8.55 per user per month price cap for Teams excluded plans. And in November 2025, Microsoft relaunched Teams bundled packages globally at original prices, undoing the settlement's intent. So they got slapped on the wrist, settled, changed it, and then quietly changed it back to the original bundling, thinking nobody would notice. Now, Microsoft holds about 37% of global team collaboration market, and Slack only has about 13%. This is Microsoft's response. Salesforce's complaint lacks merit. Slack's lackluster growth was based on inferior capabilities when COVID hit, not because of Microsoft. They are so confident about their features that they're saying that it's because of a product deficiency. It's not because team is bad in any way.
Interesting. You know what's funny though is like Microsoft's been dealing with this for a long time. So Slack actually tried this in the EU in 2020.
Yes.
There was an Azure one that was recently as well in 2025. Then there was a Teams investigation in 2024 around the same similar thing. And then there was actually a US versus Microsoft back in the day. I say back in the day, 20 or 2001, but back in the day, it was around bundling as well. But this is more about like Windows and antitrust. So it's like they've been doing this for a while. I just think it's funny that Salesforce, they buy Slack. It's been like 2 years now. And then why not just go after the big dogs?
Yeah. And I guess the question here is it a Salesforce versus Microsoft, or is it a Benioff versus Satya, like a little like ego shimmy? You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, I'm guaranteed there's some ego to it, but I think it's more of a PR play.
Yeah. So anyway, this goes the antitrust, monopolization, that kind of stuff. In the same week, though, Microsoft was hit with a separate £1.7 billion UK collective action over Windows Server cloud licensing on AWS, GCP, and Alibaba Cloud. I'm imagining that this is, again, another similar issue. So they're just going through it this week. I would feel bad for them if they weren't like a gigantic monopoly, and if I didn't,
hate Teams so much.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have not opened Teams up in years, and it's been great. Like my mental health has been fantastic, since then.
It's been a while. I do remember that one company I worked at did have to use it for a long time, and it was actually before I knew about Slack. So this is my cherry moment here. And this is my workspace moment. And it was terrible. I was going to quit corporate forever because
if anybody gave me a Microsoft Teams, like if I had to go back in-house, circling back on our conversation, like on Marketer's Exit yesterday, but if someone offered me a in-house job and everything was perfect, and then they said, "Oh, by the way, we are a Microsoft shop," I'd be like, "No, thanks, I'm out."
I'm sorry, but you're going too far there.
just let me think that I would do that.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay, moving on to Let's Noodle.
Little noodle sesh.
Let's Noodle.
Okay, we did have some LinkedIn drama this week.
Very interesting LinkedIn drama. I don't even know who this guy is, so it's kind of funny. But I think the first post I saw was from Lewis Kemp.
Okay.
And it ends up being a Lewis war, by the way. Mm-hmm. Luis, I think, actually. Okay. So Lewis Kemp, Lewis, he shares a screenshot of one of his posts from 5 months ago, and then a screenshot of someone copying his post. Not word for word, but very, 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 very close.
Very close.
From Luis Butterfield, who I can't remember how many followers he has, but he has a lot. And the reason I don't know how many followers he has is because he deleted his profile. Foreshadowing there. But basically, Lewis is saying, I'm not even mad that people plagiarize my posts to convince their audience they can write. I'm very good, so it makes sense to do that if you're not. I am, however, mad when said stolen post is followed by a call to action directing global people to an AI course that promises it can teach them how to create better content. Guess I'm just another victim of the, in quotes, swipe file. And he talks about some other people that have copied their posts, and I don't know if we've discussed these ones, but just he tagged a couple of people, Dave Harland and Eddie Schleiner, or people have been copied, I guess.
Yes. Like Eddie, the background on Eddie, he actually he covered the whole story and his side of it on Read Between the Lines with Devin Reed. And he was plagiarized word for word. Yeah. It was like a whole thing. So yeah. And every time that has happened, the person who's copied the creator has said, you were just part of my swipe file and I didn't know where I got it from and I didn't mean to copy it word for word. And everyone's like, well, you're just upset you got caught. Anyway, keep going.
Well, the worst part about this, though, is so Luis, who is the other Luis, who is the copier, he basically has, like he said, like Lewis said, the person they got copied. He has an AI course,
yes,
on how to write content and all that. And Luis, who no longer has a profile on LinkedIn, did write an apology, yes, saying that he did use AI, and this was kind of the swipe file.
He said that did he say that his AI created this or created the inspiration for this or what? I know in the post that he apologized in, he said that
that's what I'm looking for.
He was heavily inspired. Okay,
that's probably the word I'm looking for, actually.
Yeah.
Is the apology post on here? I'm trying to look for it. Yeah, it is. Okay. Let me go to that. So Luis, the copier, has deleted his profile. You can't even find him on LinkedIn right now. From what I understand, he's deleted it and it wasn't flagged. He deleted his post. But there's a Medium article out there, not by RW18213, very nice name, has the apology post that Luis wrote about it, which he says, I want to address a mistake I made. This is going to be unedited and raw. What happened is I made a post and copied inspiration from a writer that I respect deeply. His name is Louis Kemp. My intention behind the post was that I just loved it and I loved his writing. But what ended up happening is that I followed his post too closely. I didn't tag him. That was a mistake and it was wrong, the wrong thing to do. I made a mistake. I own up to that. It wasn't the right thing to do. I'm starting to, side note, this is Tim speaking. I'm starting to laugh because 3 sentences with 4 words in each is AI written for sure. Oh my God. And I have done that. I have done what I can. I have done what I can to make it right. The most important thing for me on this platform are the relationships I've made. This isn't the behavior I support, least of all from myself. Again, the mistake I made is not something I'll repeat again, and I have since removed the post out of respect. Credit where credit is due. I wish Louis and his followers all the best. All right, my qualm here is he said what happened is, he basically says, what happened is I made a post and copied inspiration from a writer that I deeply respect. My assumption, so he basically just copied it. In theory, he could have used AI, but AI wouldn't have copied it that much unless you told it to. So he just copied it and then added his call to action, essentially.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this about AI. In the beginning, and especially early on, if you don't give it a lot of instructions and you're like, I really like this post, write me a post like this, it will keep it verbatim and change only a couple of things. So in my mind, I actually do think that maybe he has like a knowledge base in his courses or like whatever. There's a knowledge base it's AI is working off of. And it basically copied it verbatim. He didn't check. He assumed it was kind of following a format and it put him out there. Now, if you look at the post side by side, which you can go to it after this episode, they're very, very close. It's like, it's beyond inspiration. It is just like, it's a few words changed. In my mind, that's plagiarism. Many people in the comments, because Butterfield has since taken down his profile. Many people.
The comments were funny.
They were brutal. They were people saying, oh, you're apologizing for getting caught. Heavily inspired is an interesting way to say it. And then the other thing that happened, and this is only how it is perceived to people who just don't know what's happening on the back end, is that he had blocked Kemp, the person he'd copied from. And so people were like, wow, okay, you're apologizing, but you've blocked Kemp. Like, how sorry are you? Truly. Now, I have inside sources who are close to Butterfield. And so what I heard then yesterday was, one, the first speculation was, did Butterfield take down his profile or was he reported by enough people that LinkedIn took it down? Because that was your initial speculation. It's like, oh, I wonder if people reported him. And I was like, I don't know. The truth there is that he took it down because of the negativity. I'm sure outside of the comments, he was getting tons of DMs, things like that. People are probably nasty because we love this like herd mentality. What's it called? Like, you know, like when everybody jumps on the bandwagon and like takes you down. It's just like this.
Beating a horse when it's down?
What?
Beating a horse while it's down?
Well, that too. Fine, whatever. And so everyone rallying around. And then the second part is, in his mind, it was like really obviously hurting his mental health. And he's worried about his business. I mean, he uses this to make a living. Those are the two things. So right now he's taking a little bit of a break. What I want to bring to everyone's attention is this has happened before. And we've talked about the Kemp side of things, Eddie's side of things, but let's talk about it from the side of the person who has quote unquote plagiarized. Okay. I'm saying quote unquote because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people are mean, whatever. So let me ask you this. I'm Louis Butterfield and I come to you, Tim, and I'm like, this has happened to me. Yes, I effed up. Is my business over? What would you say to me?
I would say no, get a grip because, and I'll tell you why I say get a grip. because, and I can't find the post, again, he deleted his profile. I can't find a post, but there was a comment on his apology that showed a screenshot of a post he did in the past that said something along the line of like, I copied this from, if you want to go viral, the best way to do that is to copy others. It was something along those lines. There's a post in that Medium article that starts with, I stole 2 posts from Facebook and put them on LinkedIn. They became my top 2 performing posts in over a year, 132K and 111K. And then it goes into see more type of thing. So he's been talking about how copying is actually like a good way to do things. And so you do it, you get caught. Oh no. Like you owned it. You owned up to it. Good for you. People didn't like it. The comments still kept rolling. And then you delete your profile and you think your business is over. Get a grip. Get a grip. Like suck it up. That's wild to delete your profile from that.
Now I can't remember how many followers he had. And I don't know if this Medium article that did a whole write-up, I think he might have mentioned.
I feel like it was one of those, I think he was in the camp of like 50,000 plus.
Was he? Okay. So for comparison, Lewis Kemp, the person he stole from, he has 53,000 followers. So he's not a small person either. You know, he has a decent following. Initially, in my mind, it was, did he take it from someone smaller? Because that happens sometimes. So from this, you know, people use swipe file a lot as the excuse, like, hey, I put something in my swipe file, whatever. I have a swipe file too, but my swipe file includes screenshots of the post that I like with the person who wrote it on there. So like, I don't know where the swipes are coming from or how other people do their swipes, if they just take them. Like even Justin Welch, I did one of his content courses when I first joined LinkedIn. And he actually talks about finding posts that have done really well. And he uses Amanda Natividad as an example. And he says, I really like this post from her. I like this format. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it a template. And so he takes it and he just changes a few words and says like, insert whatever here, but the rest of it is all her writing. And so is that what we're teaching people, is to, you know, then what's the line between I'm using this as a template versus I'm plagiarizing, which is the situation that has happened now. And then using someone else's writing and then using it to sell. I think that's where Lewis Kemp got upset, is like, you can steal my writing all day long. Who gives a shit? But you're using it to sell stuff for your business and dupe people. And that's where the issue is. Okay. If I was talking to Butterfield today, I don't know him. I only recently connected with him and we never really talked. But this is what I would say to him. This too shall pass, because this has happened to plenty of other people. Not saying that what you did is correct, but what I'm saying is learn from it, but do not sit there and be like a doomsday conspiracy theorist and think that everyth's done. People eventually forget. Just do better. And when you come back. Not everybody saw it. Not everybody is going to talk about it or keep talking about it. Some people will remember forever and they won't be your customers, but that doesn't mean your business is dead in the water. Give it some time. People move on. The next big thing comes in. That's your time to swoop in, come back, live your life. I know someone personally who's been through this, big creator, still has a thriving business, still putting out good content outside of his little situation.
It all passes. Remember the crying CEO?
Yes.
That was wild. That went way more viral than this.
Oh yeah.
That went crazy. He's still fine. He's okay.
At least that was original, but then a lot of other people did crying also.
Astronomer CEO? Everyone thought that was going to take, I think this business is doing very well.
Yes.
Well, it's not, I don't think he's there anymore, if I remember.
No, he's not there anymore, but it did get them a lot of great PR. Yeah. They got Gwyneth Paltrow. That's what he should do. He should just be should just dive in, just own it, hire someone like Deadpan to make a funny ad out of it.
He should own it though. Like he should dress up as Lewis, the other Lewis.
Okay. And I went too far.
That would be funny though.
It would be funny.
Or just do something to make people forget. Like, you got to remember, like, this is still LinkedIn is high school. So just make up another rumor about someone else and we're good. Like, then people will forget.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, Louise, you're welcome. You steal those ideas.
I think the biggest tragedy in this entire story is that while you were telling it, you pronounced both of their names wrong, probably.
100%. Yeah. That's
Louis and Louise.
Well, it's really confusing when you have two Lewises.
They have last names,
I don't remember the other one. Oh, no, I do. Kemp. Yeah, it's a lot of words, though, isn't it? Like, that's crazy.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Speaking of exhausting, AI is exhausting. Is it not? Is it not exhausting?
So exhausting. Constantly.
I was getting mad this morning at myself because I was listening to a podcast and they were going through the things that they're doing. And I was like, that sounds so cool. And I was so mad because I had like other work to do. And I was like, I want to do this right now. But we're not alone on this. Mm-hmm. Kieran Flanagan, if you don't know who that is, that works at HubSpot, lives in Ireland. He's now the SVP Agentic GTM and Systems. He was the CMO at one point. But he's in AI. He's deep in AI. So he has this great podcast. His title has actually changed. He even says that he has a full-time job in AI, popular Substack on AI, YouTube channel. He invests in AI companies, limited advisory services to AI native companies, all this stuff. Like, he's deep into AI, and even he's saying he's overwhelmed by it. He calls it the AI exhaustion loop. It happens at different points throughout the week. Like, my vision starts to blur as context switching between 5 agents and trying to keep up with the 10th insane AI launches of the week. No one is immune to feeling overwhelmed by AI. Yada, yada, yada. Post actually blew up. 185 comments, 1,142 likes, 35 reposts. He hit something here because I agree. It's just too much. There's too much going on. I think we need to rewind. Go back.
Yeah, I think we need to slow down a little bit.
Or not.
No, we need to slow down. Go touch grass, as people say. It's funny to hear him saying that because I get a lot of AI whiplash just even listening to Marketing Against the Grain. Like, every week they drop 3, 4, 5 episodes. It's not, I don't even know, are they a daily episode? It's like multiple times a week. And then it's like every week, I don't know if I told you or I told Nash or whatever, but I was like, dang, every week it's like they're demoing 3 different tools. Yeah. So I just found out what skills were like 2 weeks ago, and it feels like old news already. And I haven't even gotten to fully explore skills before it's like, oh, go do autonomous agents over here. And and then the other day they had some other guest on and who's like, I use Perplexity, Lovable. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Okay. Am I supposed to use Perplexity now? Like, it's just so much that I have to tell myself, you get one AI use case to try a week. That is 52 for the year. If that puts me behind, so be it. But I would rather do one thing really well and like learn it properly than try to do experiment with 15 different things. And my focus is all over the place.
I agree. I do agree. I really do agree.
Here we go.
But
here we go.
That's the problem with AI is because AI is in theory supposed to help you do more, right? Yeah. So like you're saying it might bring you behind, but maybe you could do more than 52 if you use AI to help you do 52.
Oh my God.
That means 104. You can double your time.
I mean, to be fair, my Claude came default with the skills creator, so it helps you create skills.
Yeah, I have 4 skills right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have that many. I have like maybe 6 or 7. And I keep improving the existing skills. But you know what they talked about was eventually we are going to have still a management problem. But instead of managing humans, we're going to be managing all these agents and keep making sure that they're all good because they can get out of date very quickly. You know who's able to iterate over time? A human employee who's like, maybe I'll think about doing this job a little bit different. An autonomous agent is going to do it the same time, like over and over and over again, the same way, unless you build in some kind of feedback loop. But then even the feedback loops need you. You need to be the feedback loop.
Yeah, well, you definitely do. That's 100% true because AI is cool and all, but it's freaking poop. I can't explain how many times it does not do the right thing.
Oh my gosh. I sent you 3 screenshots right before our call.
Oh yeah.
I was just ready to bang my head through a wall. All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Hey there, Jess Cook, head of marketing at Vector here. And anyone who listens to Tass and Tim on Notorious B2B is a friend of mine. So I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Native targeting is filling your funnel with ghosts. Wouldn't you rather put your ad dollars toward, I don't know, people on your website, clicking your ads, researching your competitors? I know I would. Vector lets you build ad audiences from those exact people. Unlike native targeting, which gatekeeps that shit, only letting you pick like some titles and industries and then just trusting them to show your ads to the right people. Boo. Okay, rant over, go to vector.co and get your ad audiences right.
Okay, moving on, we have, this was actually something just funny that I saw and also kind of true because Alex James, and I will share. Alex James says, quick reminder, if you sell marketing related services, don't do cold outbound. Hot take. Because it doesn't matter how personalized your outreach is. The fact that you're hitting up strangers implicitly tells them, hey, we cannot do for ourselves what we're promising we can do for you. The medium is the message. Basically saying if you're a marketer, you should be really good at inbound. Why are you doing outbound when you can't even do marketing for yourself, but you're selling companies marketing related services? And I was like, that's an interesting thing to noodle on and a little bit true, where it's like you're selling marketing services to generate inbound, but you can't even do it for yourself. What are your thoughts?
It's completely wrong.
What?
Like it's wildly wrong. It's 100% wrong.
Go on.
I'll give you an example. My agency, what I do is LinkedIn ads.
Yes.
I do spend money on LinkedIn ads.
Yeah.
But my business comes from organic LinkedIn. I don't need to spend money on LinkedIn ads. So
right.
why would I do that if so in theory, so I should be doing organic LinkedIn for companies, right?
No. You kind of fit what he's saying. Where you're doing marketing, you are marketing yourself, right? You're using whatever method to market yourself. I don't think you're saying like, if you're doing SEO, you should use SEO to sell SEO. I don't think that's what he's talking about. He's just saying that if you're a marketer, you should be really good at marketing yourself, no matter however that is, and shouldn't have to go hit up strangers with cold outreach and do sales, like in that sense. Like calling.
I also think I still think it's crap because it's just another channel.
Yeah.
Just because your business is a marketing business, like you can't expect everything to be inbound. Like if you want to scale, you have to do other things, and that could be outreach. Mm-hmm. Also, it's not how marketing works. Like, yeah, if you're doing cold, like maybe he got it and he didn't see their marketing before, so it doesn't matter how personalized it is. So it's just not going to hit for him. Mm-hmm. But the amount of times you see outreach work because they also saw the marketing before that, it's just timing. Like it's just how marketing and not even marketing, just business works. I get it to an extent, but also it's just wrong.
Yeah. Wrong. The other piece of it is, how are you doing outreach? Maybe you're doing it in a way that is a little bit different. So it's funny because you would think that I do outreach. I don't do outreach.
Who thinks that? Who thinks that you do outreach?
I'm going to tell you why you would think that. Okay. Yeah. And I use conversational ads on LinkedIn. It's one thing that Graham and I are testing. Mm-hmm. And the conversational ads are this, like, hey, this is an ad. Yes, but it's actually me, Tass. And if you're seeing this, I only do like 3 free audits a month. They usually cost this much. I want to do a free audit for you. If you're interested, let me know. It'll be the real me that does the audit for you. So it's just like very conversational. It's very me, even though I'm not effectively like finding this person and reaching out to them. I do think that it is still a form of marketing to be able to like showcase that skill set. I think it's different if you're cold calling and be like, oh, please buy from me or whatever. But there are different ways to do it. Just still where you can merge some of the like sales and marketing and have that be your channel. You know what I mean? For actually generating business. And
to your point, there's a definition game here too. Cause like he says, personalized outreach. If it's a conversation ad, it's technically advertising because it's a LinkedIn ad. Yeah. If it's through a platform, you're not doing it like each one isn't just an outreach from an SDR or something like a person. That's email marketing.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so it's like, that's marketing.
Yeah.
Is that not, you know what I mean? Like, so there's just like definitions here as well. I think it's a great thing to bring up if you're trying to sell your services on LinkedIn about messaging strategy, but I don't think it has any merit, to be honest. I think bad marketing is bad marketing, and good marketing is good marketing. Bad outreach is bad outreach. All that stuff. I don't think that's. I do still think my example at the beginning about LinkedIn ads is still true-ish, because he's kind of talking about like marketing for inbound, but like that's just not how everything works. Like marketing is more than just that.
Yeah, I agree. You should go argue with him on his post. I would love to see you a little.
I'm good. I will not do that because it sounds terrible. It sounds like a loss.
By the way, you know what's a funny coincidence? Alex James is actually the person who was copied in one of the examples that I talked about during the Butterfield story.
Oh, shoot. Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So it's a coincidence he's on the docket. I actually didn't notice that before. Okay. What do we have next?
Next up, I would love your thoughts on this, actually, because I got some thought, but you can probably guess what that thought is.
I have some thought.
So this person basically said they're taking a stand. Okay. Bianca, aka Binks. For some reason I'm thinking of Jar Jar Binks, says, today I decided to take a stand for my time. I was in the interview process with a major company. It had been over a month and I had my 5th, in all caps, interview scheduled for today. And I had at least one after that scheduled for this company. This didn't sit right with me. I know what I bring to the table, I'm Dash, and I owe it to myself to be in processes that value my time.
I'm Dash. Yeah.
Was it a risky decision? M dash, maybe, but I'm kind of sick of playing passively! ! I think it's powerful to have conviction these days. The whole experience has reminded me how important it is to bet on yourself. SEO week, I don't care about that. Hashtag know your worth. A little selfie as the image with the potato filter on it. The comments kind of gave her a little bit of like, juice here. Like I've been through this. Like, I get it. What are your thoughts? Like, is she taking a good stand here? Like, do you think she's taking a good, real stand here?
Yeah. I mean, first of all,
know your worth. Know your worth.
We have discussed that
know your worth.
Interviews have gotten outrageous, right? Over the last couple of years, like multiple rounds, assignments outside of that, yada, yada. If you've gone through that many, there's going to be like a sunk cost fallacy, right? People are like, well, I've already put in so much time. I might as well finish up the process and see if I get it. And then there's going to be the ones that are like, well, do I ditch it now? Like, I don't want to do another freaking assignment. So I guess the question is like, good for her. If that's not what she wants to do, 1000% don't do it. Don't do it. I guess it's part of their weaning out process. Lots of people will drop, abandon as each stage gets higher. But ultimately, how much leverage do you have? Do you have other options for a job? I think that's the biggest question. Like, how much do you need this job? How much do you need a job? Those are the things.
What's your money like? What's that situation?
Yes. What's your situation? Do you have the ability to walk away from the process? Because the process is the process. So that is something that is a personal decision. What are your thoughts?
I noticed one thing on that post. Profile picture. Well, there's that too. The one thing I noticed was her profile picture still said open to work.
Yes.
So she still doesn't have a job. And I'll check in on that in a month. Now, I'm going to get some hate for here. I get it. Like, I know I'm going to get some hate. You should know your worth. You're 5 interviews in, you think there's going to be at least 2. Again, it comes down to the situation. But like, if you need a job, you need to go for it. I'm sorry. If you really need a job, you need to go for it. Again, maybe she had 10 other interviews with 10 other companies. Yeah, the law of numbers there might work for you. But one thing we've learned in this, the last year, 2 years, 3 years, is the hiring market's brutal. So if you get those chances, you got to take them. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. Look, I mean, we've talked about posts where someone said that, or maybe this is offline, but we've talked about like someone did like 20 hours for a presentation or something like that. Like I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, but an interview is like an hour tops, usually an hour tops. Is that worth your time? Maybe, you know?
Some people ask me, it was like earlier this week, I had this conversation and I used the line, if it's nothing, if this doesn't end up amounting to anything, at the very minimum, it's content. So you learn. So I feel like sometimes when I was interviewing, sometimes I'd be like, oh, I'm interviewing for this role. I'm not super excited about it, but I would do the interview anyway because of the reps. You would learn.
Yes.
So, just like, oh, how would I phrase this differently if I was asked during a job interview that I actually cared about? It's just the practice and getting the reps in. Sometimes that in itself is worth it. She can literally go to another job. They may have a 3-step process. And then by the end of it, maybe she gets picked and she'll be like, you know what? Thank you so much. Because this other company, I went through like a 5-step process, which was kind of crazy. I'm so happy that you kept it to a 3, whatever, that positive feedback. There's always ways to bring it back. And lived experience is something that's, invaluable. Not to say that you just let people go all over your boundaries or whatever. But, if you want to be glass half full, that's how I would look at it.
True. There's also something to be said here. She might be playing chess with us here. Maybe she wrote this post, it did get like 400 likes, 400 plus likes. Good for her. Maybe she does go to the interview. She decides, I'm going to go to the interview.
Okay.
Another post comes after that. I got one, I posted about this last week, but I decided to go to the interview because I had a kind of heart to heart with someone, and I met someone that, and you can tell the story here.
Yeah.
And then she ends up getting the job. There's another story with that.
Yeah.
Or you don't get the job and say, I went through 6 interviews and I still didn't get the job. This market is blah, blah, blah. And you can go down that route too and get more likes on there.
Only you and I would think about content in that way. If we look at her history, I don't know how much she's doing a lot of that, but maybe.
If you
want to be smart about it, maybe that's the way to go.
If you're posting selfies, you know something. Right? Like,
yeah, I guess.
One thing to note here is it does look like she used that as a SEO week post.
Yeah.
Because she looks like she spoke there if you look at her last LinkedIn post.
Oh.
I feel like she should be able to get a job if she's speaking at these places, but she's still open to work. I don't know.
I mean, you can still pay to.
Bianca, all love, by the way. All love here.
All love.
This is all love here.
Yeah.
No, if you're listening to this, I know you don't, but it's okay. All love. I hope you get a job.
They dropped off like hours ago.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right. So next one. This one is actually a pretty funny one. I didn't know whether to put it in closed one or in Noodle, but you were like, let's do it in Noodle because I want to talk about it a little bit more. But this guy, founder and CEO at Hyperline, Lucas Baidu, he said, is outbound dead or are people doing it really bad? I receive about 10 cold calls a day and around the same in outbound emails. Some are good, some are bad. Most of them have no soul. But never did I have one that was talking about my lack of hair. Not sure every technique is worth trying though. And he has a screenshot here and the subject line is all lowercase and it says, you got nice, clean, bald head and ginger beard. Leon Sasson, like he doesn't even blur anything. Leon Sasson from snipegtm.com. We got to look up this company. This is, He goes, hey, Lucas, I only work with good looking billing platform software CEOs with a clean bald head and ginger beard who've raised $4.4 million in seed. You checked every box, so I figured I'd reach out. And then he goes into a sales pitch. First of all, if someone made me laugh, I would take that call just because of the gall on this person and the fact that they'd make me laugh. That said, this would be a dangerous game to play with maybe someone like me, a minority, a woman, like you start pointing out little things about, I think that might be an interesting play. I don't know. Again, now that I think about it, I don't know if I would like that. I would definitely post and get thousands of reactions because people like the audacity. But in this instance, it's like a little cute, which people are going to be like, that's a double standard. But I'm like, well,
So there's 2 things to think about here because I looked up Snipe GTM.
Okay.
It's essentially an AI book demo type of. It looks like so basically the headlines: book more SaaS demos on autopilot, and their process is basically 3 steps to qualified demos. Step 1, define your ICP, and it has like AI platforms and Zoom info and all that. Run personalized campaigns, so it's personalized, emails, and then demo books automatically, whatever. But they're running basically personalized campaigns, AI outreach, meaning it's autopilot. Like this is automated. Back to what we were talking about before about like marketing your own stuff. If that's a personalization and it's reading the profile and saying ginger beard, bald, that's interesting to me.
I was like, where are you going to go with this?
Wild. So one, I don't know if they're like specifically targeting bald people and then it's not as interesting, but if it's personalized based off the profile photo, like if they saw mine, hey, balding 35-year-old with glasses, like that's interesting to be honest. Like that's pretty next level. So that's one side. Like if that's the case, next level. Okay. Honestly, I'm in on that. Like I'd buy because I can go crazy there.
Okay.
Yes, to your point, for some there's some probably things you shouldn't call out. Yeah. Which might get you in trouble, but we haven't seen those yet. On the other side, if this is kind of like manual outreach and this is the play, honestly, if I was an SDR, I don't know I don't know how old this person is. I don't know are they on a PIP? I don't know. Yeah. But if I was an SDR, like when I was in sales, I was terrible at it. But if I had the goal and if things weren't working out, I'd go crazy like this. This is the only things that get open rates. Yeah. I would do this. Why not? What are you going to do? Are you booking enough demos? Question mark in the headline. There's 50 of those. Yeah. Not many people are saying, ginger beard, bald. Like for this guy specifically, you could word it a little bit different, I would say. Nice shiny head or something like that. Like, I don't know. Or there's probably a better way. Like, hey, I'm bald too. I'm glad you're not wearing a hat. I don't know. But I do like the approach. If that's manual outreach. If it's personalized, I might buy. Like, this is crazy. That's crazy outreach right there. That's like
it is crazy outreach. I wonder if they have some guardrails, like if prospect is
bald
like this, then like do not define physical characteristics or whatever. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like
again, next
logic.
Level. Yeah. If that's the case, next level. The other thing to think about here is a lot of profile pictures are a little bit older. So like if you say gray hair and they're bald now, maybe there's like a trigger that's like, oh, profile photo is only 2 years old. And again, if that's the case, next level, I'd buy right now. Like think about the things you can do there.
I think it's too risky to go mass like that.
I think that's what you got to do these days, though.
I know.
That's all you can do.
We talked about that on Ding and Jake's podcast where we're like, the zigging and the zagging. You got to zag. There is no other way. You have to zag. Like, that's the only way people remember you.
I think there's a good route with glasses. Like, I think glasses people like to unite. Like, what's up, 4 eyes? Me too. Here's a picture though. Like, show a picture of yourself with the glasses. Like, I don't wear contacts either because they suck. Like, I get it. By the way, if you can't book enough demos, that sucks too. But we have an idea, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my 4 eyes.
Me too, though. Me too. You got to define yourself. Like, if you're also 4 eyes, then you're good.
In the subject line. Oh my God, you freaking kill me. Oh my gosh. I would cry. If someone sent that to you, please send that to me because I would laugh so much. That would be, that is zagging though. I know so many people who don't know your name, but who the minute I'm like, oh, the guy who cuts fruit, they immediately know who you are, who I'm talking about. They're like, oh yeah, that guy. They know the fruit cutting before they know your name. So like you have to zag. Like he's gonna be like that cold outreach will be remembered. Like I was called
and he gave him the name
with the ginger beard once.
And he kept the name on there. So like again, if you're thinking chess here, what doesn't go viral on LinkedIn? Lame outreach.
Yeah.
Oh,
true.
Demo's not getting enough demos. Did you hit your growth goals? Can I save you time? No, those don't go viral. That does.
Yes.
That does. Viral beard or ginger beard. You can go down the route here, right? Like there's, you got bald people, not, balding. You got glasses, you got beard, you got The ginger beer is interesting though. If that's personalized, like you can't see that from afar. Like you know, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's an AI skill. They embed it with Claude. They teach Claude the skill. These are the ones you don't do. These are the ones you do. It'll be funny. These are characteristics you can call out without it being non-PC. Beard, bald head. Okay. Speaking of AI, let's go to Big Prompt Energy.
BP.
Big
Prompt Energy.
Ooh, the first one ties into the second one. You go.
All right. Interesting here. And I don't even know what is going on here, but there's two headlines here. One, Amazon just invested in Anthropic, $5 billion, up to $25 billion more against Anthropic's $100 billion plus AWS commitment. So Amazon's funneling money. The more interesting one is the headline 2 here, which is Google commits up to $43 billion to Anthropic. Now that's interesting because Google has Gemini.
Yes.
So what the fudge is going on here? Isn't that wild?
It is wild. When I saw the headline, obviously the first question everyone's going to ask is, why would Google do that?
Yeah.
Aren't they cannibalizing themselves? As I dug in further to the research and the articles, it was like, well, Google's moving at its own pace. There is actually a competitive strategy where big companies will invest in small portions with competitive companies that might be a little bit smaller, which is hilarious to say Anthropic is small because it's not so small anymore, but Google's still bigger. And they will invest in that because sometimes it's easier for them to then, if they invested in the growth of their competitor, eventually getting that proprietary IP to help expedite their product launches and just basically deciding then, okay, if we join forces, we will be the two monopolies in the market kind of thing too. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that are way above our pay grade, strategic things that come into play with this, but companies are just dumping money into this like AI war. People are investing in in OpenAI. People are investing in Elon's. People are investing in Anthropic. And so this is kind of like all these companies taking stances of which LLM they're backing. Maybe Google's like, we're not going to be able to keep up with this, so we might as well just bet on the competitor and have a piece of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did again, speaking on AI overload, I did the whole demo, like a 40-minute demo on Google AI Studio. I'm like, why haven't we heard more about this? It's all included in our in our workspaces, but we don't talk about it as much. So, and I do think still out of all the LLMs, Gemini is the best at writing, hands down. So that was an interesting, that's the story there where it's like, yeah, Amazon's investing their team Anthropic.
Yeah.
The big thing is the Google investing in a competitor. Very interesting.
Yeah. And it's Anthropic, right? Like they just keep investing in Anthropic because like there's another story here that we'll cover right now actually, but it's just, so Henry Shih, who works at Shih. Mm-hmm. He works at Anthropic. He's AI at Anthropic, whatever that means. But he put out, and we fact checked this, but he put out a statement like, something strange is happening in tech. CTOs of billion-dollar companies are quitting to take on individual contributor roles at Anthropic. Workday CTO now works at Anthropic. U.com CTO, Instagram CTO, Box CTO, Super.com CTO, Adept AI CTO, all are doing individual contributor roles at Anthropic now. So like a lot of people are just moving, like Anthropic's obviously, they're releasing so much. They're doing something right. It's just interesting to see that Google, again, competitor, pouring money in there. A lot of CTOs at big companies, Workday, like or Instagram, like that's crazy. Like they're now going to Anthropic to work there because they see something. The question is like, is Anthropic really on the edge of something? And people are seeing it and they're kind of making that move that others, OpenAI is not doing, because why aren't all the CTOs going to OpenAI? I don't know. And a lot of people are actually leaving OpenAI too. Like there's been stories of that too, because they're kind of scared of it. So I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is an age-old tale of capitalism too, where what is it going to be? Is it going to be like Google swallows up Anthropic? Anthropic is like, no, maybe it's like one of those moves too, where it's like tech has always been incestuous, where we share talent, right? Ex Google, ex blah, 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 ex Amazon. We're all shifting in between that. So I do think that eventually, like, everyone's taking these big bets on AI. Maybe Google's like, I acknowledge that maybe they're better at some things than not. Like, let's see what they're up to, shake hands, make deals, move faster together in the same direction rather than going through a war. Okay, speaking of AI usage and going faster, this one was a really not fun, but a very interesting article. We love talking about NVIDIA on this show because we talk about us being the NVIDIA of podcasts from the ground up. But NVIDIA's own VP says that AI compute now costs more than headcount.
Wild.
So the VP of Applied Deep Learning, Brian Catanzaro, anyway, told Axios, for my team, the cost of compute is far beyond the cost of the employee. Reported in Fortune, echoed by Uber CTO Praveen Naga, who said his AI budget was blown away already 2 weeks into the year. Big Tech, another article said there's a $740 billion, spend on it, up 69%. I also saw somewhere that we basically hit our usage goal that was like 2029's. Like we've hit capacity already and we're 2026, and like the cloud servers, they can't build the centers fast enough to support how much AI is being used. So right now, for everybody who's like, I'm replacing my marketing team and I'm replacing my HR team and I'm replacing all these teams, your usage bills are through the freaking roof right now. And for these big companies that have gotten rid of people because of AI, their AI bills now cost more than their headcount would have cost. So we're going to start seeing a lot of that. And I wonder if we're going to see then a second wave of, how we had the vid hiring, and now we're going to see a second wave of like post-AI hiring after post-AI layoffs.
Maybe, because they're not going to hire anymore though.
They're just going to keep paying AI costs?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot easier to manage. Think about it. Like, you don't have to deal with people calling in sick. You have to deal with all the other stuff that comes with it,
So the other side of this is, one of these companies saying like a $500K a year engineer spends about $250K a year on tokens to be productive. Like you've scaled your engineering teams back. You've scaled your marketing teams back. Now each person, and even Dave Gerhardt in his newsletter, he said that, or like his post, he said when they surveyed the marketing team leaders during that event, AI adoption has become a big KPI of theirs, getting their teams to adopt AI. So you have a smaller marketing team, but then each team is using 100K worth of tokens or whatever. Now you've tagged on that to the cost of having this employee. Which one is better? This employee using 100K in tokens or 100K employee. The math comes down to that.
Yeah, it's what I actually think is going on with all this, right? Because right now everyone's AI maxing. Like if you think about it, like really hardcore, like spend your tokens. Let's spend the whole year in a month. I don't think it's just stupidness. I think it's actually they're trying to do it. They're trying to push people to do it as like learning and development. If you use the tokens, in theory, you're learning things you can do. And the faster you do it, the faster you're going to learn, the faster you're going to be able to replace more people, and the faster you're going to be able to automate things and make things better and build more products and features and all these things. I think that's what they're really doing. And right now, because you can get the funding, why not? Like some of these companies are getting Meta obviously has cash, and we've talked about it where they're just spending so much on tokens fast, and they have like a leaderboard and all that. But a lot of these companies are getting funding. They're getting the cash because of it's AI. So if they can spend it right now and then take those learnings to get more funding, like we saw in 2021, where the funding was crazy. Why not? I mean, I get why they're doing it, I guess. And at some point, in theory, the returns will be better. because you're actually going to get output from it. But I think right now there's just a lot of wasting to learn, which isn't a waste.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Once we get better at using it and AI gets better on its own, would we be more efficient, productive? TBD.
We'll see. TBD. We don't know, actually. That's the thing.
There's a whole conversation on like, should we be changing school curriculums because teaching our kids how to do certain things, like it doesn't matter anymore. Like that's not how work is moving. You know, we're not doing a lot of those things. So do you teach them to just be better at the skills that they'll need? Like, do I need to teach my 6-year-old on how to build appropriate skills? Like not her skills, but AI skills. You know what I mean? No. Like, do I teach her to create markdown files? Should we start doing that?
Well, that's the problem is these kids are too young. It's been literally, we're on the 4th year of AI, not even 3 years. Skills aren't even going to be a thing in 15 years.
I know. We'll see what it is when they're older. It's just like at the rate it's moving, I don't even know what to teach my child. But she did learn how to ride a bike yesterday, or like this weekend.
Well, there's that stuff. Like you still need to move around, like live.
Okay, what's next? So speaking of China from before, DeepSeek launches their V4. There's a bunch of stuff here, like 1 million token context, 1.6T parameters, blah, 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 blah. The thing that you need to focus on here is that it is 100 times cheaper than ChatGPT. So that's kind of what they're talking about, is just in terms of how much you're spending per million tokens in output, and DeepSeek is just way cheaper. I saw a post earlier today, it was on the docket, but we don't have to go through it fully. And it basically, this person rage quits OpenAI and Anthropic's LLMs because he hit his limits very, very quickly. And he was just kind of over it, and made the case for how open source is going to be the way to go. And DeepSeek was obviously initially known for being open source for everybody on the internet to use. Obviously, it comes with security risks, but ultimately users are going to be like, I'll deal with the security risks if it means I get more usage and free access to AI. So that's essentially the big story here, is how far can we take open source, because it still has downstream effects on the environment, data centers, all of those things. What does that look like for us in the future? But I'm imagining there's going to be like a lot of pirate AI where we're going to basically have access to all these models for free as these tools get more and more expensive, especially with usage-based.
100%. Always. It's a market, right? Like everyone's complaining about tokens. People will find a way to get more tokens or free tokens, or whether it's from China or not. Government's going to hate it, but market is the market.
Market is the market. Okay, so moving to circling back. Circle back. One thing we didn't do a good job of last week was talk a little bit more about the LinkedIn CEO and why he was such an important part of the LinkedIn ecosystem. Also because we were terrible and didn't actually research it appropriately, and I only found out later. I was like, shit, that's the story. So we talked about Ryan Roslansky stepping down after 6 years from LinkedIn. Now, the truth is he's been at LinkedIn since 2009, roaming around, eventually took the reins over in 2020, right when COVID hit. He saw people flooded LinkedIn looking for jobs, yada, yada. He looks at the other social platforms and he goes, I think we should be more of a content creating platform. And so it was all his doing. He's the one that pushed for content creation on LinkedIn, including rolling out features like the creator mode, LinkedIn newsletters, collaborative articles, and then making sure people were rewarded for posting stuff related to their expertise over, just like, oh, I'm looking for work or whatever, which ironically, those posts do really well. So he is going to stay on as an EVP at Microsoft. So we knew that he's staying on. And then the Dan guy is taking over. Dan is very AI focused. So I don't know what that's going to look like for us. But some of the notable algorithm shifts were because of Roslansky. He noticed like, hey, these selfies are getting a lot of engagement, but virality, they hate that. So they actually flag posts that go viral because they think it's too hollow of engagement. But what they're doing is they reward more niche expertise. And the latest thing that they did was using LLMs to scan content and then distribute it to people that they think the content would be interested in. And that's why lately, when we're like, followers don't matter, only the content matters, it's because it's doing that. It's not showing it to your followers. It's just looking at it, doing it interest-based, kind of very similar to TikTok and stuff, but probably worse. And that's why you're seeing that. The other thing is he's also pushed for sponsored content, which now makes up for 40% of the feed is sponsored content. And it was all part of their game plan. It obviously worked because he took LinkedIn from 700 million members to 1.3 billion members and 8 billion to revenue to 19 billion in annual revenue. So his big bets paid off. It worked. People, the articles, even TechCrunch articles were like, you can hold the tiers. And that was because like the whole crying CEO stuff, they all attribute to how Ryan had made LinkedIn what it is today. And so it said, hold your crying CEO tears because he's still going to be at LinkedIn. So that's the true story right there is Roslansky made it our world, our kingdom, our water source,
nice.
All of those things.
Good for him.
We'll miss you, and we hope
just
that
retiring.
We miss you, even though we just met you, and we hope that Dan Shapiro does a good job filling your shoes and maybe pump up our organic reach just a titty tat more.
Just a little bit. Maybe a little AI stuff.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I worry about the AI stuff. Okay, now you mentioned that you were waiting for your Claude design token usage to reinstate on Saturday. Did your son nap and did you get to play around with it more?
I did.
Okay, and?
I did. I'll show you.
Ooh, show and tell.
I'll just show you one thing, I guess, to give you an idea of like what we're looking at here.
Okay.
So I'd say the first weekend, the problem with it is the usage limits. The first weekend, I spent about 60% of my usage on just creating the design system. Fair. Like, I get it. It was actually quite a process, and I liked the design system. That was cool.
Okay.
The second, after that, I started creating some ads with it, and it was pretty basic, right? Just a couple sentence prompts. I even gave it an example, like, can you just basically create those ads with my brand, essentially? There's basically examples into my brand.
Yeah.
Some of them were okay, some were better. Then I kind of ran out of usage, so I couldn't really play around with it. This past weekend, usage limits came up. Awesome. So I wanted to create a couple more ads. The first one was really easy. It was just basically like a fake Reddit thread. I just wanted to see if it could do text, basically.
Okay.
That was actually pretty easy. I gave it like one piece of feedback, and that used up like 7% of the storage, the usage. So it's pretty easy. Again, text. It wasn't too crazy, like just the formatting. I got a little bit more, I tried some other things. Okay. So I'm going to show you an ad that I gave it an example of, and then I gave it like a small prompt. So I wanted to see how good it could get. I gave it this ad it's just in my, ad bank, I guess. It's an ad of an old lady lifting up like a very heavy weight. And it's an ad. It's like an old ad from Connect Team. It's just like it's really simple. It's text at the top, logo at the bottom, and then an older lady lifting up like, what is that, 45? Like a pretty heavy weight. And it's just kind of like a scroll stopper type of ad.
Yeah.
I gave Claude Design that example, and I said, essentially, replace the old lady with my B2B Riz mascot, which is like a space suit guy.
Yeah.
Put the weights on there and then change the text and the logo, all that, colors. I'm going to show you the third iteration of it.
Okay.
So it's not even complete yet. So this is the third iteration. It basically just took my B2B Riz mascot, who I have a bunch of them. And a lot of them are like, oh, it's a person. It's the mascot on a bike. It's a mascot on a laptop. One of them is like pointing to something to the left. It just took that. It didn't change anything on the arms. It actually cut out a little bit of it. So it's still pointing. The barbell is this like cartoon looking metal pole with two, what are those, CDs? And it's not even in the middle of it.
If you're only listening, you have to please go on YouTube and just watch this part.
Yeah.
the episode because it's worth.
And it cut off some of the head, and then it just says like LinkedIn ads without the heavy lifting. It got my logo at the bottom, fine. It just looks like I copied and pasted everything and put it on there and then switched it around. Not even in Canva and like Photoshop, not even Photoshop, MS Paint. This is the third iteration. Because it gave me, I don't know if I can see the older ones or not. And here, I'll show you another example too.
No.
Here's another example. And I'll show you, Taz. And if you're obviously looking, you should, let me find it on here. I can't find the example here, but I gave it an example of an ad that showed like the evolution of an ape to man. You know, like that classic, like
yes,
evolution thing.
Yeah.
And that ad looked good. So this one right now, it got like the text right and all that, but the evolution. So picture the classic evolution of like ape to man, where it kind of just grows over time, and it's like the person with a stick, like a spear.
Yeah.
This thing is like stick figures, but worse evolution. It's not even like, then it puts the B2B Riz mascot in there, just pointing at that. The whole thing was supposed to, like, this is like 30 iterations down again. By the time I was trying to give it all the feedback, I was out with the usage.
Oh no.
And I told it to basically like, if you have to, just copy it.
Oh no.
So what I would say, first weekend, I was stoked, but I was about to post on LinkedIn, design's dead. Designers are done. Claude Design just killed designers. Creatives cooked. Second weekend, done. I'm over it.
Wow.
Yeah. So to be clear, I get it. People are going to be like, your prompt's crap. Like, you should give it more stuff. I know I should. The whole thing is that when people say like outreach is dead and all that, they're not. Like, all these design teams are nowhere near. Like Figma stock dropping. Figma, you're going to be okay. I promise.
Yeah.
Like, you're good, actually. Yeah. Like, you're going to be very okay. Your stock should go up, actually.
It should go up.
Yeah.
I wonder, because ChatGPT released their image creation function, the latest one that's really good. I wonder if now.
You say that though.
I mean, I'm just saying it's supposed to be. I'm not.
I know.
You know.
So is Claude Design.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is you should go, because I've been creating some superhero stuff there because my kids think I'm a superhero, but you should give it the same prompt, right? And with the evolution thing, with your colors, give it the hex code. I always give the hex codes. Give it the colors and see whether it'll create it. And then you have a post of like, here's what Claude Design created. Here's what OpenAI created. Or here's what ChatGPT created. ChatGPT is back.
No, that's actually, yeah. I will do that.
There you go.
But if they do anything like they did with Sora and they make it worse in the next few weeks, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah, I know. You had a big Sora phase, so, you know.
And then they made it worse. It's so annoying. Like, all these AI tools are great, but like, the usage stuff, like, I get it, but like, no, stop.
I'd rather see ads. Bring us ads.
I'd rather see quality. Yeah. 100%. Like, Claude, I'm sorry, but you might have to bring in ads. You might have to get them ads going.
Yeah.
Just one.
Now we're begging for ads.
Just a little guy on the top. Just a little guy. Little logo.
Yeah. It's fine. We'll do it. Okay. We had a very long episode today. So we're going to make an executive decision and say retention rate and end it here. We will do a big bubbly closed one next week.
100%.
If you stayed with us, thank you so much for listening.
You're the best. Yeah.
Big thanks to our friends at Vector for keeping your ad budget out of the shredder. It's the only way to build ad audiences by name and not waste another cent on native targeting. You know, Bargain Boba loves hearing that. Check them out at vector.co.